on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful, delicious, juicy, homemade, from scratch steak fajitas. Coming up! With summer rapidly turning into fall, I wanted to do one last summery dish, which is of course the Tex-Mex classic beef fajitas. I originally wanted to do this for the Summer Grill series, but the more I thought about all the different components that go into it, I realized that it deserves a full-length video. So, that being said, today we're going to make some steak fajitas, some freshly made flour tortillas, a wonderful avocado crema, all the toppings, and it is going to be delicious. This is a skirt steak. And as you can see, this was in a cryovac, meaning I bought this a while ago, and this has been sitting in my freezer. So I do not remember if this is an inside or an outside skirt. But when I bought it, it was all one big piece like this, which is pretty convenient because you can cut it to whatever size you like. Both the inside skirt and the outside skirt will work really well for fajitas. The outside skirt is definitely what you want if you have the choice, but those are usually sent off to restaurants or restaurant supply stores, while the inside skirt is what you're gonna find at your grocery store. So seeing how I got this at the grocery store, this is most likely an inside skirt, but again, I don't remember. Either way, I'm not too concerned, because I know it's going to be delicious. But as I mentioned, this was all one big piece, and I've already cut it into these manageable sizes, which is going to make it really easy to grill. It's got a really nice amount of fat in there, which is going to grill up really nicely. A lot of intramuscular fat in there too, which is why this is a perfect cut for making fajitas and throwing on the grill. But first things first, we need to put these in a marinade to start building those layers of flavor. To start things off, we're going to go in with the juice of a couple of limes. Oh God, right in the eye. Ow! Some olive oil. Couple of shots of Worcestershire sauce. Soy sauce would be another alternative. Small handful of garlic cloves. Big old pinch of salt and black pepper. Some red pepper flakes for a little heat. Also going with some chili powder and some cumin. And again, I'm not too concerned with exact amounts and ingredients for this. We can always taste the steak once it's off the grill and season it from there. Also, there's plenty more flavorful additions that we're gonna add to these tacos. And these are all the basic suspects you're gonna find in pretty much any fajita marinade. So if you're in the market for exact amounts and ingredients, you can always hop online. Also, we're gonna throw in some cilantro stems too. God, that smells good. Give it a little tasty taste. Definitely need some more salt. Beautiful. So now into this zip top bag, we're gonna go in with our skirt steaks and of course our lovely marinade. Just get it all in there. Oh yeah. So all we're really after in a fajita marinade is some acid, which is gonna help kind of tenderize the meat a little bit, as well as some oil, which is just gonna kind of caramelize on and bring all those flavors that we added once this hits the flames. I'm gonna pop this in my fridge for the next 30 minutes, probably a couple hours, while we get everything else ready. Next up, let's get our tortillas going. Starting with our bread flour, baking powder, and kosher salt. Just gonna give that a little mix first. Make sure everything is evenly incorporated. And then we're gonna go in with our beef fat. This is some Wagyu beef tallow that I got sent to me by the South Chicago Packing Company. This stuff is fan-taste-tic. Very high quality, very nice. You can get this on Amazon. I will have a link in the description. Having a big jug of Wagyu beef fat around, never a problem in my book. So thanks for sending me this, guys. This stuff is perfect for making tortillas because it's got a nice fluffiness to it. It's almost like a whipped tallow. And I've noticed that these commercially made tallows are a lot better for baking and tortillas and things like that, as opposed to the stuff that I render myself. Beef tallow in. And of course you can use butter or lard or shortening, whatever you like. So now we're just gonna get this all nice and mixed up, everything evenly dispersed until this dough has a consistency of like a Play-Doh. Also a good idea to get in there and scrape down the sides, scrape up the bottoms, make sure nothing's getting trapped in the corners. But this is basically what we're looking for, you know, it's crumbly, kind of like a pie dough. Looking good to me. And last but not least, I've got all my water measured out in this little gooseneck kettle, little by little until this dough comes together. Because especially with tortilla dough, the amount of water varies from batch to batch. And that's basically what we're looking for right there. Pulling away from the sides cleanly, nothing's too wet, too soupy looking, still sticky, but not too bad. So from here, we're just gonna let it rest in this food processor for 30 to 40 minutes. And what's gonna happen then is all that gluten is gonna develop, and that's really what we want. We really want this dough to rest completely. Otherwise, it's gonna be really hard to work with, and it's gonna split when we try and press them out. Next up, let's go ahead and get our avocado jalapeno crema started with 2 avocados, some lime juice, 3 cloves of garlic, some cilantro, some cumin, some chili powder, big old pinch of salt, some black pepper, and some jalapenos. So we're gonna blast with Blowtorch real quick. We'll start out with 2. Should be enough. And then for the crema itself, this is some Mexican sour cream. Very nice. It's got a nice pourable consistency to it, which is really convenient. And now to blend it all up. Looking good. Really nice consistency to it. Well, that's heavenly. Avocado-y, jalapeno-y, little kick on the end, and a little more cumin. It's another one of those, just taste it as you go, make it your own. Upon further inspection by Brooke, she says it needs to be spicier, so 1 more jalapeno. Boop. And now for our veg prep. After a nice long rest, let's see how our tortilla dough is looking. Oh yeah, that's looking real nice. Very supple, and that's why the long rest is super important. You can see how smooth this is. If your dough doesn't look like that, it needs to rest a little bit longer. Very supple, fun to play with. All right, let's portion it out into balls. When it comes to tortilla making, you can make them whatever size you like. That's the beauty of making your own tortillas. I usually aim for right around 50 grams. That gives me a good taco-sized tortilla, and I like to weigh them out using a scale. That way, I can ensure that they'll all be the same size, be nice and consistent, and that way when I stack them all up, they'll all be the same size, so they look nice. 50 grams usually looks about like that. 47. Take a little pinch off the end. Beautiful. And if you want to learn more about how to make tortillas, nailed it, you can check out my other video all about how to make beef fat tortillas, where I go into a little bit more detail on this. Once you've got all your dough balls portioned out, we're going to go through and do the old tuck and fold, making sure all seams are on the bottom. We want to make sure this is a nice, taut, smooth ball. Otherwise, they'll press out weird and not look as nice. And then I'll put that seam side down and I'll give it the old roly roll here. Use the friction of the table and the dough stretching around to make that ball even more perfect until you've got a beautiful, perfect, round, little, smooth tortilla dough ball. Tell you what, a good tortilla dough, very fun to work with. Now that these are all nicely rolled out, I'm gonna go ahead and put them in this tortilla warmer just to keep them safe. And I'm gonna take this damp kitchen towel and place that right on top to make sure nothing oxidizes too much. We're gonna let these rest for another 10-15 minutes just because we just worked them a lot, so we wanna let that gluten rest one more time, and then we will start to press them out. So to press these tortillas, I'm using the patented Chud Tortilla Press, which, if you're unfamiliar, is something that I made that sits on top of this gas burner, and it does the job of pressing and cooking at the same time, and it's a lot more efficient than trying to roll these out and throw them into a cast iron pan. We're gonna try it out with this little guy, see how our temps are doing. Wow, yeah, it's a little hot. Little guy couldn't handle the heat. I do build these and sell these, but because of COVID, the steel industry is pretty backed up, so I'm having a hard time keeping them stocked. So if you want to know when the next batch is going to be available, be sure to join the Chud Patreon. They're always the first to know, and they've bought me out of every single one so far. That's simply enough. Taco squeal. Oh, that looks beautiful. I mean, does it get any better than a freshly made Wagyu beef fat flour tortilla? I think not. Very fluffy, incredibly hot. I can't tell if that sound is awesome or haunting. Into the tortilla warmer these go, and I'm gonna keep them nice and blonde for this first cook, because we're gonna throw them back on again before we start building our tacos, and that'll add the nice charry outside that we like. Oh, thing of beauty, fluffing up already. Am I the first one to use Wagyu beef fat to make a tortilla? Definitely won't be the last. Oh, we're gonna get full puff? Beautiful. Nice and evenly sized, looking fan-taste-tic. Now all we gotta do is fire up the grill. Big shout out to Pro Smoke and Wilson's Barbecue out of the UK. Pro Smoke is a company that is bringing all the barbecue gear from around the world to the UK, including the brand new PK300, and he was nice enough to send one my way. So big shout out to him. Appreciate it. Thank you, Wilson's Barbecue, for getting us in touch. And if you're in the UK looking for a barbecue pit, Pro Smoke is the way to go. Hopefully one day I'll get him some Chud boxes to send over there. Also, shout out to PK. This new grill is awesome. Tell you who I'm not gonna shout out. The damn snake in my boot. Now, generally speaking, I am a lump charcoal man, hashtag Team Fogo all the way, but on a cooker like this, where the grate is about 4 inches above the coal bed, some of the big chunks you get in the lump charcoal can make it so the grates don't sit evenly, or you get some weird hot spots. So today we're gonna go with briquettes for the first time in a very long time. And since Fogo doesn't make briquettes, I decided to support local and try Aaron's new stuff. So, that being said, let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, nice and toasty. Now that our grill is nice and hot, let's go ahead and throw our meat on. I pulled these beautiful skirts out of the marinade, give them a little bit of a wipe off, but there's still plenty of good stuff on there, and that's just gonna cook on, hit the flames, and be super tasty. Ooh, now that's hot. So this is a really thin cut, so we're gonna just go really hot and fast on both sides. I don't wanna burn anything, but I still wanna get a really nice sear. So if I have to, I can always pop them onto the cold side and shut this lid and let them carry over that way. I feel like such a dad right now. I love it. Come on. Steaks are off and resting. Let's go ahead and get our veggies going. And of course, I got the old grill pan out, because why not get a little extra grill flavor? Am I right? Let these cook down a little bit, get a little bit of color on there. Why not? Hit these with a little salt, help that weeping start a little bit. Looking good, starting to get some nice color on there. But to keep things a little less healthy, let's throw a dollop of Wagyu beef fat in there, shall we? Again, this stuff is great. Oh boy. Keep them moving, keep them moving. These are looking great. And again, you can take these as far as you like. If you really want them all the way cooked through, you can do that. These are about halfway, 3/4 of the way. They still got a little bit of crunch to them. I'm gonna keep them warm on this side of my griddle while we go ahead and get everything else ready. All right, let's see how these steaks came out. And remember, there's a grain going with these, so we're gonna wanna be cutting them this way. But to make them a little shorter, let's get a little cross section going. Oh, that looks beautiful. Gotta love a good skirt steak. Nice and fatty, nice and tender. Those big fibers in there. Oh, that marinade comes through nice. Again, you can see the fibers on there just stretching, so you always wanna make sure you're going against the grain. Otherwise, you're gonna have really tough meat. I'm just gonna slice all this up, and then time to assemble our fajitas. First things first, let's toast off these torts. Ooh, don't mind if I do. That's what we're looking for, folks. Beef on there, some nice steamy veg, jalapeno, avocado, crema, little cotija, a few dashes of your favorite hot sauce. And we'll top it off with a little cilantro. And there we have it, folks. A beautiful beef steak fajita on a wonderful Wagyu fat flour tortilla. All right, and now for the moment of truth. Let's see if all this effort for lunch truly did pay off. That's an immediate yes. Something about a good flour tortilla, some nice grilled meat, and some sauteed veg with a beautiful avocado sauce. Who would have guessed? Turns out really good. Spicy, tangy, beefy. Yeah, that's fantastic. I tell you what, folks, sometimes it feels good to go the extra mile with the homemade tortillas, the marinated steak, the fire roasted veggies, the homemade jalapeno avocado crema. Every now and then, it's worth it, and it's a lot of fun. But let's do the official taste test real quick. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic beef steak fajitas. I highly recommend giving this one a try. It's great for feeding a crowd, especially if you have everything done ahead of time and all you have to do is sear off your meat, cook off your veg, and toast off those tortillas. It comes together real fast, and everyone can make their own tacos, which is great. But that being said, if you do give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to hit me up on Instagram at ChudsBBQ. I love to see what y'all are cooking. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see me cook next. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making these videos. Also, I will be sure to let the Patreon members know when the next batch of tortilla presses is coming out. Again, big shout out to Wilson's Barbecue. If you haven't seen his YouTube channel, you definitely got to check it out. He's doing some really great stuff over in the UK. And thank you for sending me this PK grill. I do appreciate it so much. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!